today, and we're just cruising along. This vehicle is doing a fantastic job of holding the road. We've got some fairly good viz. I've already given it a squirt, and we'll actually give it its permission to take over at some point shortly. And just enjoying the cruise. The acceleration of this thing out of corners is to be felt, to be believed. It's just outstanding. And just the low center of gravity, I guess, is one thing we've heard about with Teslas, that there's no question this vehicle loves to hug the road. So we're asked to do 65 into this corner, and just as a courtesy dropping back to 80. It's really enjoying it. One thing, of course, you've got to do is make sure you're not going too fast, as it does love to accelerate out of corners, as do you. Let's let it take over. A bit of shade on the road here as well. Let's first of all lock it in at doing 90 k's an hour. I'm still in control of the vehicle. I've depressed the right hand lever on the steering wheel side once, so it's actually gone into cruise, so it's actually really comfortable. And let's just drive along with this. You'll see also that the drive icon, or the steering wheel icon, is not illuminated, so this vehicle is still relying on me to put in the commands to actually enter the corners. Now the vehicle now is decelerating. I'm not touching the accelerator, I've just got to steer it, and you see it actually trying to drive us off the road in that process as it's trying to maintain speed. And you've got to sort of remember what mode you're in. Here again, decelerating into the corner, waiting for me to put input. So it's kind of even more important for, I think, in these sorts of circumstances, to let the vehicle do the steering, because it's once again decelerated well into this corner and is making appropriate corrections to the speed. It's up to me to keep this vehicle on the road, doing an average job at this point. Here it is. So steering input for me. Oh, backpack event. That'll be the only one today. The roads in New Zealand are so beautifully empty at the moment. Not a lot of people around. Not a lot of travellers. Of course, New Zealand expects to see about 3.8 million visitors in a good year, and they did in 2019 for a population of just over 4 million. That's pretty impressive that they see that many people in their country. So they pretty much double their population if you think of it in that way during the year. Here once again the vehicle has decided that it's best for me to be doing 60 at this point. I'm doing the steering inputs and seeing a bit of open road in front of us. The camera's doing the work, the sensors looking to say, and the rest of the AI deciding that it's a good thing, so it's just taking off. Beautiful piece of open country. Quite happy to lock in at the speed. It's quite happy to do the 90 k's an hour that I've asked downhill here. There's actually a single lane bridge here, as is common in this part of the world. It didn't decelerate for that, interestingly. I was quite happy to do that at target speed. Here it is. Now it's probably read that speed warning sign and decelerated the vehicle in advance of the corner here, up to me to steer. Now let's go to the next level here. I think we're ready to see how this vehicle does its own steering. There's good sunshine on the road here at the moment. A bit of bad weather's coming in, but here we go. It's doing... Oh, now it's complaining that I've done too much input and saying, look, if you're going to let me drive, let me drive. So here it goes. I've got my hands on the wheel, but you see now it's steering itself. Hands very lightly on the wheel. It's kind of on the safety side of things. You can see here we've given it permission to do 90. It's doing 60. Fingertip control. I'm not steering the vehicle, it's making its own decisions at the moment, but a really good example of just how well this vehicle does look after itself and keep itself on the road, arguably better than I do. And this is one of those funny things, isn't it, about the next level of vehicle driving, is while we do hear of accidents happening in these vehicles, that there is evidence definitely that these are a safer way to get around nature, get around the roads, I should say. So the vehicle opening up a little bit here. I've still just got light hand control. If I take my hands off, will steer itself, and you kind of, it's disconcerting, isn't it? I'm sure you're actually even feeling it for me here. Tighter corner. Well, it's asking me to jump in on it. So that's the thing. It will actually alarm and say, no, you've got to help steer. You've got to have your hands on the wheel for the most part. Look, it's one of those funny things you'd sort of want to do. Perhaps it to be doing a little bit better job at this point, because it's decelerating, accelerating. Now, interestingly, what we've done is we've driven about, whoa, there's a bit of stone. Got to spend a bit of time in the loose stone there. Oh, I'm going to take over. This is a bit disconcerting for me. Let's put it back to me. Now, it's on me to steer. All right, let's do this. Now, interestingly, here you see we've got 197 kilometres left in the tank, so to speak, at the moment, and we've driven about 120 so far. So, really taken a big chunk out of the battery in just the first day and a half. We have done a little bit of filming around the vehicle. We have just manoeuvred a little bit. We've pushed it a little bit harder. We've had some fun with it, but it's kind of surprising that at this point we're looking like we're going to get about so it's 200, 350. We're going to get about 350 from this charge by appearances. And the challenge we've got at the moment is to find our way down to Invercargill on this charge. So probably a little bit of conservation of battery energy I've got to think about over this next 194 kilometres, make sure we get down to a charge point.